Hi, Dr. Mike Mossop here for CoVet. Today, I want to quickly show you how to move your documents from CoVet into your practice management software. This is a process that we call exporting, and it's kind of the third and final step here. With CoVet, you of course first want to add material to your case, audio recordings, PDFs, other files. You then want to generate a document using a template. And then last but not least, you want to export it to your practice management software, which is the permanent home for that medical record. I encourage people to think of CoVet as a sort of drafting software that will help you write documents, and you can also edit documents here, but then you do want to move them over into your practice management software. Now, there's multiple ways to move these documents. I'm going to show you a few of them here, but I'm going to start by highlighting this status badge. So you'll notice here we've got a case that's already created, one recording and two documents, and both of those documents say for review. So that is the export status. The export status relates to each and every document, not the case as a whole. And basically the idea of for review means that it's just been created. I need to review and make sure I approve it. So I can quickly glance through. I shouldn't have to make too many edits. Of course I can if I want to. But once I'm happy with it, I probably want to change the status from for review to ready for export. And I can do that using these buttons along the bottom, or I can do it using the drop down at the top. And the idea with the ready for export status is it just shows that this has been reviewed. Now, if I'm exporting the document myself, I probably can skip this step, but this is very useful if you have a teammate that is doing the exporting for you. So some veterinarians will delegate this step to a member of the support staff. And in that case, the signal that this document is ready to go is this ready for export badge. Of course, if you go all the way to the next step, exported, that implies this document has already been exported. We haven't actually done that yet. Or you could use not for export, which just implies this one's going to stay in CoVet. We don't need to move it anywhere. So we'll go back to ready for export. Now, in terms of how to move documents, if you have an integration between your practice management software and CoVet, that is by far the best way to move the record. And you can see you've got some practice management software logos up here because I do have a couple of integrations on this account. Keep in mind, each integration is different. And I would encourage you, if you do have an integration, to look at our help center and find the documentation specific to that integration. But essentially, either this button in the top right or this export button down here, it's going to be one click and the record is going to automatically export to the correct case and the correct patient in your practice management software. And all of the sections here will be plugged into the correct places within that record. So it's a really elegant solution. If you do not have an integration between your practice management software and CoVet, there are still lots of options and it's still very quick and easy. So the first one that I'll show you is the good old-fashioned copy paste. So you'll see this document has multiple sections. Each of those sections has a copy button, and I also have a copy all button, which will copy the entire document. And typically this is best done on a desktop computer, but you can imagine I've got CoVet in one window or one tab. I move over to my practice management software and I just paste it in. And it's as easy as that. So it can be very, very quick. Now, what I'll do, we'll just clear that off. I'll point out a couple things. So with these buttons, so either the section ones or the entire document one, you'll see that there's a little three dots or the arrows here, and it does give you some different copy options. You have a chance in your account settings to set the default here, and typically the default is set to rich text. So the idea is that when you copy by rich text, and your default is going to act when you click on the main button, you're going to get formatting that comes in. So the bolding, the headers, that kind of thing. If you choose, you can use Markdown instead. And what Markdown will do is it gives you basically some highlights. So you see headers get the hashtags, bolded text gets the asterisks. This is useful if the program that you're pasting into doesn't accept rich text. So it's a way of highlighting things without the true bolding. And then last but not least, you do have plain text, which doesn't do any of that. And keep in mind, whatever you set in your account settings, that default function is going to happen when you click on the main buttons there. So that is one way. Another way to achieve the same end, I'll just delete this here, is through the Google Chrome extension that we have. So A Google Chrome extension is a minor or small program that just lives in a sidebar. It's like a mini version of CoVet. And the idea here is you can have CoVet running in the sidebar, and you can actually have your web-based practice management software here open. So you don't even have to leave the browser window or the browser tab. It's all in one place. And you can see here, there's some filters. So I'm looking at my cases. I'm looking at things that are in the ready status. So this Tommy case that we've been working on appears here. When I click in here, I can see the document. Now there's 2 documents in this case. Only one of them is showing here because only one of them is ready. The other one is still in for review. So you should see we've probably got a longer list here, but that other Tommy document is there. So the status filter is important. You can also click on sorting order. So if you want oldest at the top or newest at the top, that's up to you. But basically you click into the case, I can go copy all, I can move this over here and paste everything in. You can also mark this content as exported right from here, and it will change the status in CoVet. You've got section by section copy buttons. Again, you can look at your different copy options. You can kind of preview the content here. So lots you can do in the Chrome extension. Some practice management softwares will also have a connection. So it's not quite a full integration, but basically there's a little magic button here that says paste all. And it can tell that you're on a case page for your practice management software, and it's one click and it will direct all of the information into the correct boxes in your practice management system. So I'd encourage you to use that. But yeah, here we go. We'll mark this content as exported. It's going to disappear because it's no longer ready. It's exported. And if you click back here, you can see, we'll just close this window. You can see that this status badge has changed. Now, let's just quickly export another document in a different way. Basically, we'll go into the communication or visit summary that I've done here. I'm going to mark this as ready for export now. And I'm going to show you the export center. So this lives in CoVet. And I think the best use for this is if you have a member of the support staff who's been delegated the task of exporting documents on behalf of the team. They can basically have this open on a web browser. And again, the status filters are important. So they can see that there's this one document for Mia that still has to be reviewed. So they can go ahead and bug me, the doctor, to kind of get their act together and finish up. But if they watch this tab, things will just magically appear here. They know it is ready to export. And what they can do is they can click into it, and they can, again, use section by section copy buttons. They can use the copy all button. They can move all of the contents in this case. So if there's multiple documents, you can move it all in one go. And that is all you need to do. And when you're done, you click mark as exported. You get this nice, easy, breathe easy tab to show you that you're done with your day, or at least you're caught up for now. And that's it. So again, hopefully you find this helpful. If you have any questions about exporting documents or practice management software integrations, do not hesitate to check out our help center or send us an email, support@co.vet. And I hope you have fun using CoVet. Thanks very much.